So we started in Lee Hill about 4 years ago, as we talked about, and started with a very, very small space, about 2,200 square feet. From there, we grew into the unit right next door within about the first 2 years. Weren't expecting to do that so quickly. And then after that, we started looking to the units on either side of us and didn't know if it was a good idea to continue the expansion in that way. So we looked around Boulder. We wanted to stay in Boulder. It's always been our home, and would have loved to stay in North Boulder with the new location. Very, very limited warehouse space up in North Boulder. But we also had this great following in the North Boulder community. So wanted to retain that at the same time. So how do you do that? So we started to look at other space in Boulder and came here to Flatiron Park and spoke to the landlord here. He was very excited to have us come in and have a brewery in his industrial park. He was very interested, of course, in filling up square footage, but even more so the tap room as an amenity to the park. He was very excited about. And we had planned all along to have an additional tap room. We know, as people will be in Boulder, we don't like to get in our car and travel too far. So here we are at the central part of Boulder, east central part of Boulder, and I feel that we'll be able to serve a lot of people, not only in this industrial park, but in this area of the city that perhaps wouldn't be interested in driving up to North Boulder. So at Lee Hill, somehow, we were able to push 5,600 barrels out of 4,400 square feet. That was a very, very difficult year, as we knew it would be, brewing 7 barrels at a time. And here at Flatiron Park, we now have a 30-barrel brew house. We're starting out with enough fermentation capacity to do about 12,000 barrels. But at build-out, this facility will be able to handle 50,000 barrels. So we put all the infrastructure in place to allow that, so that we only need additional fermentation capacity in order to reach those volumes. We have been outgrowing many components of the process over at Lee Hill over the last 4 years. We're trying to prevent that in planning out this brewery so that the expansion will be much easier. We actually, a little over a year ago, went over to our friends over at Oscar Blues and found out that they were in the process of decommissioning their canning line. We were interested in it. It was a little too soon for us, and we didn't know if the timing would work out, and they helped us with that timing. So we took the canning line apart and put it in a tractor trailer where it's been sitting in the back parking lot for 9 months. We took it out of that tractor trailer in December and started building it piece by piece over here at Flatiron Park. And, well, as a matter of fact, we're canning for the second time right now, and we're doing about 100 cans a minute. At Lee Hill, we maxed out at about 40 cans a minute. This canning line, we've seen it humming over at Oscar Blues at as high as 160 cans a minute. So we foresee being able to pretty easily can at 120 cans a minute, triple the rate that we were able to at Lee Hill. So hopefully that bottleneck is taken care of for a while.
And for the beer drinkers, fans of Upslope, does this mean there will be some new beers being canned, some new beers being released as well?
We started our limited release program last year with the Foreign Stout, the Belgian Pale, the Pumpkin Ale, and the Christmas Ale over the course of the year. We're just going to maintain that same program this year and into the future. And what we call our core four, our Pale Ale, India Pale Ale, Brown Ale, and Craft Lager, we're going to maintain those as our core four. We have a lot of geography still to cover in the state of Colorado. We're continuing to expand into the state more and more every month through our distributor.